What is up, everyone? Welcome to the BX Sports Jedi Network return of the Knicks podcast. It is the NBA trading deadline. We are here for the trading deadline special. While we were on yesterday, we had a trade go down. Of course, the New York Knicks acquired Josh Hart from the Trailblazers. Trading is Cam Reddish went, as well as Richie Akidakano, as well as Sky McCallow, a couple of protected number one draft pick, a first round draft pick, the Knicks' own draft pick this year. It was interesting because my opinion is with Josh Hart, I like the move. We were talking about that, matter of fact, on the stream yesterday. I had Gideon, aka the Notorious G, and also Nice, who came on and was very gracious to come on and give us a few minutes. Actually, a couple. We were there for about an hour, going back and forth for different scenarios. And what I loved about it was it actually happened. As soon as we went off the air, I contemplated coming back on to go over it, but I knew I was going to come on there. For the Knicks, they're getting themselves a former Villanova Wildcat who's plays extremely smart, a good friend of course. Hello, Steve. Brunson. Brunson was extremely happy. You know, he had his jersey retired out there in Villanova. He had a ceremony when they found out. That was raw emotion. He was very enthusiastic and happy that his known owner, his college friend, his college teammate, will be playing now in a professional level. For the Knicks, they get themselves a perimeter defender who who is, you could say, the best rebounding guard in the NBA. He's averaging close to 8.6 rebounds per game. He doesn't shoot the three ball that well, but he does one of the best finishers around the basket. You know, especially on the offensive glass, offensive putbacks. He is going to give the Knicks another dynamic. No disrespect to the other players that they currently have. What happens to Quentin Grimes' minutes? What happens to R.J. Barrett's minutes? What happens to Quickly's minutes, as well as Miles McBride, Deuce McBride? But there's also rumors. The latest rumors about 30 minutes ago, the Knicks are engaged in talks with the Chicago Bulls. The Knicks look like they're trying to on the verge of acquiring Zach LaVine. Nothing official. This could fall apart. This is the second. We heard different conflicting reports of who is going out from New York. I understand it's 3 first round picks heading to Chicago. One report has R.J. Barrett going to Chicago, as well with Obi Toppin and Quentin Grimes. Another report has this where it's going to be Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin with those 3 draft picks, and Derrick Rose for Zach LaVine and Dragic. Now, if the Knicks pull that, that's a big move for the Knicks to get Zach LaVine. Think of the front court, folks, of Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Zach LaVine. You could now slide Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson. That is your front, unless if if Barrett doesn't get moved here, or even Barrett and Hart off the bench. So you got yourself RJ with Brunson, with LaVine, Randall, and of course Mitchell Robinson. If it's the other way around, where it's RJ Barrett leaving, you're going to have Josh Hart play the small forward, Zach LaVine taking the RJ Barrett role. One thing is going to can't trade RJ and other players due to contract restriction. Well, they've been saying it on the NBA Network. So there's been report. I'm saying again, this is reports. I believe that I could have swore there was a kicker or a restriction, but John Wall goes back to Houston. John Wall and Danny Green, Clippers get Eric Gordon. Luke Kennard goes to the Grizzlies. Why would the Rockets bring back John Wall? That's a crazy I believe that's going to be a buyout. So look for that as well. Remember the Knicks, by moving Mikhail and Diacono and Cam Reddish, they got 3 of the players on their bench that don't play. They got rid of their bench pieces for a player that was really going to help the Knicks. And now back to that Chicago play, the Chicago rumor. I got mixed reactions on that. I love the thought about. I don't know why it keeps poking back in and out, guys. So I really don't like the fact where we're giving up a lot. We're, especially, I know Obi Toppin doesn't have really no place in this team. Be honest with you, but you need a power forward, backup power forward in this, unless if they're making another move that we're not aware of. Visual not in sync. Yeah, right. I feel something weird. Let me change it over here to this one. Hopefully, this one will help out better, Steve. I came on Opus to do it on Opus to make sure. So hopefully it seems aesthetically better, Steve, and it won't give you that back and forth, that slow type of pause there. So my point back to what we're talking about, we'll wait to see what happens with the Knicks here. Right now, I think they're going to do something big here. The fact that RJ that they I don't think like Steve, I don't think RJ Barrett is going anywhere either. I think Toppin might be on the move here. I personally, I want to move quickly. I hope we trade for Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges. I don't know if Brooklyn will trade, but Brooklyn, they move Crowder. Of course, they move Crowder. They move. There's talks that Brooklyn might move a lot of those pieces they got back in the Kevin Durant deal. So Kevin Durant now is a Phoenix Sun. We were mentioning that as well yesterday on the stream. We'll have Chris the Flash join us shortly. Bucks trade George Hill to the Pacers, so Pacers get back George Hill. That's a good one. Matisse Thybulle got moved to the Blazers, and Jalen McDaniels in 2029 second round pick goes to the 76ers. The Hornets get Sky McCallum, so we're going to see Sly versus the Knicks here because we got to play a couple games against the Hornets. And then a weird one, Justin Holiday and Frank Kaminsky goes to the Rockets for Garris Matthews and Bruno Fernando. The Thunders trade Darius Baszler to the Suns, Darko Sanic, and a second round pick. Mike, we also remember that one that broke off when we were on the air yesterday with the Lakers, the Jazz, and the Timberwolves. Conley going to Minnesota, Westbrook going to Utah, Russell, Beasley, and Vanderbilt goes to the Los Angeles Lakers. So we got about 35 minutes before the trading deadline comes to a conclusion. Bernard Johnson, let's go. Bernard Johnson said, "Let's go Knicks. We need smart moves that helps us. That's going to help the team." Hey Bernard, you heard about? I was mentioning a few seconds ago. Zach LaVine might be on his way to the Knicks. We might lose Quentin Grimes. We might lose Obi Toppin, and 3 first round picks with Evan Fournier and Derrick Rose. That's one report. Another report, which I agree with Steve. I don't think you could trade RJ Barrett due to his contract with the kicker coming in, unless there's a date where he could be moved. RJ Barrett was one of the players instead of Fournier. It's a whole different conflicting report, but those talks are engaged. The Knicks are engaged with the Chicago Bulls. That'd be interesting. I do not want Gordon Dragic personally because Dragic is going to be a deep bench piece, probably released. Whatever the case, I would have liked to get a rebounder, another power forward, at least who we know he's not going to require a lot of minutes. So when Randall goes down, you bring in a power forward. Audio video is not in sync. Steve, I'm trying to figure. Am I the only one going with the wrong? Everything seems well here from my end. Steve, let me take a look. So Steve says he's having. It looks like I'm coming wrong or bad. So the audio visual not in sync. It looks like I'm talking and coming a little late, but can you hear me though? As long as you guys can hear me, we're good. So the Lakers trade Thomas Bryant. I look at that. I'll read the trades as I see it. The Nuggets trade Bode Hollins to the Clippers for Nuggets 2024 and a second round pick. A lot of second round picks coming out here. All right, good, Bernard. Thank you. The Magic's trading Mo Bamba to the Los Angeles Lakers for Patrick Beverly and a second round pick. Oh boy, I know Chef Dan is going to tell me Now you could go see your boy Patrick Beverly in Orlando. So Mo Bamba's going to Los Angeles. Wow. Right now, the West is trying to make a lot of moves because there really isn't a clear-cut favorite. The Lakers, do they have enough time here to get all these players acclimated to play as a team? Yeah, I know when you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis and you bring all these pieces around them, you could make it work. But do they have enough time to gel? That's the question. Hey, Mikey Mazda, salute. What's going on, Mikey? I hope you're doing well, buddy. So George Hill went to the Pacers for a second round pick. The Bucks traded him to the Pacers for a second round pick, and of course the three team trade. Of course, we see Matisse Thybulle goes to the Blazers. Jalen McDaniels goes to the 76ers, and Sky McCallum goes to the Hornets. So we'll keep anything new comes up where we're right here to break it down. I know Chris the Flash was supposed to join me to talk a little basketball hoops here, but I guess he must be taking a nap. I know he works during the nighttime. Thunder Thunder make a deal to the Suns. Darius Baisley. Finally, Eric Gordon leaves the Rockets. He ends up on the Clippers. Luke Kennard goes to the Grizzlies. John Wall goes back to Washington. Sheldon Darrell Johnson, salute. We're still waiting to see if the Knicks are engaged in talks with the Chicago Bulls. Zach Levine is centered around the main trading piece coming to New York. For the Knicks, the details of who's going back to Chicago, we don't know yet. So we'll see what happens. So I know it's around Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin. Three number one picks, protected number one picks, goes to Chicago. It's not official. They're rumored. They're in advanced talks. Wow, I can't believe Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba, I know we were talking about that yesterday. I know that he wasn't seen too happy with the Orlando Magics. I know when we broke that down when we played them. Me living in Orlando, we knew that Mo Bamba's days in Orlando Magics were not going to be long. But I'm surprised to the Los Angeles Lakers. That's good for that kid. That young man plays and he's going to get a postseason experience. He'll play with LeBron. Anthony Davis backs him up. You're not gonna require to do too much of the heavy lifting. Just go out there, rebound, block shots, hit some threes. Mo Bamba will do well, and also he's gonna opt out. He's gonna have opportunity to get a new contract. If Mo Bamba does extremely well with the Lakers, look for him to get some money over the summer. I don't know if the Lakers will retain him, but Mo Bamba will have a chance to make some money coming pretty soon in this summer. Jose Melo, salute Jose Melo. And then Bernard Johnson. This is the Knicks' chance to move up if they make a real good move. Yes, yes. If it's what we talked about, if you get a front court now, we can only envision. Let's forward. I know they don't. We have Obi in case Randall goes down, but if Randall goes completely down, you have nobody to play that power forward position because the constituent says that we're in the trade. We're getting back is Gordon Dragic, which he's probably going to get waived or he's not going to probably play. But that's a daring move for the Knicks. To get not only that, they get Zach Levine, they get the All Star, they get the superstar in Zach Levine, in my opinion. Levine, he had a couple COVID issues, he had the knee injury issues years ago. Tom Thibodeau knows what kind of player he might be included on that deal for that Zach Levine. They got 27 minutes to get it in. Let's see. I'll keep refreshing Twitter and keep seeing what's going on, but I don't see anything yet. All right, the Kevin Knox is on the move. The Pistons are sending Kevin Knox as part of the multi-team deal that brought James Wiseman. So Knox going to Golden State. If Knox can hit the three ball and when he's needed, when his number is called upon, Kevin Knox will have a resurgence playing alongside those guys, learning something. So good for Kevin Knox going to the Golden State Warriors. And I know who was it you, Jose Melo, that talked about um, for where was Wiseman? I think it was you yesterday that mentioned that. Now Wiseman finally got moved. They Golden State finally got him at home. So we're waiting to see what the Knicks do. If the Knicks do any moves here, they got 26 minutes. 26 minutes to see. Although they did a nice move there, believe it or not, I kind of like that Josh Hart move. I really like it. I know we lost three players for one, plus that one protected pick. I know everyone. I know Knicks 100 GM on May 4th didn't like the fact that we added a pick. I could get his point because we gave up a first round pick to get Cam Reddish. We didn't play him, and then to get rid of him, we actually gave up another first round pick for him. I get it, but we ended up getting Josh Hart. Hart, who wanted. I was saying that yesterday on our stream. Josh Hart wanted to play for the Knicks. I know he was one that wanted to play for the Knicks. He wants to come to New York. He expressed that when he was a member of the Pelicans, and now he has his chance. He has an opt out or a player option that he could opt out. The Knicks could extend him. He's one of those $12 million players. You could probably get up probably for around $15 million for extend him for 4 years at $15 million. He's not going to be he's a really good defender, number one guard, rebounding guard. He's averaging almost eight rebounds per game. You know what the motto, how Tom Thibodeau, as well as what's going on, Dave, our salute. You know how Tom Thibodeau says, and Pat Riley, part of that coaching philosophy, if rebounding wins championships. If you don't rebound, you don't win no titles. And they want rebounders. They want team rebounder. We saw that in the Orlando Magic game when they were Hart. That thing. Melo says Hart is going into the is going small forward. RJ shooting guard as a lineup. Yeah, but both. One thing that worries me between Barrett and Hart, they don't shoot the ball too well from 3 point land. Although Josh Hart is a very good mid range shot. He's really good mid range shot. He doesn't shoot the three ball well, but underneath that 3 point line, he is really lethal. RJ as shooting guard will have more lane to cut. Yes, indeed. That's. I want to see the chemistry between Hart and Jalen Brunson. We all know the video Reddish, Zion, RJ on this team. It's not going to happen. The dream is out of the picture. But I was one big time seeing those guys there. It's sad to see Reddish didn't pan out here, but I am actually really well. We got if Kevin Knox to Reddish to Josh Hart, and that's what we end up with. It's not bad. Not bad. It's not a bad move to what we got back for those the way we flipped all of those players. It's not a bad move there. And Josh Hart could be moved 2 years from now, a year from now, if he resigns. So we're waiting to see what other moves are done. Let's see if anything else came in. So we're waiting to see here for what the Knicks do. I can't wait to see what's the finished product on there's 4 games left before the trading deadline. The Knicks got a back-to-back Friday and Saturday. They play the 76ers. Then they got back-to-back with Utah, Brooklyn, and then they head out to Atlanta before the All-Star break. So that'd be interesting to see against us. We'll wait here. I keep refreshing to see if I see anything new. Oh, I think we got something new here. Hold on. No, just the Patrick Beverly Pistons, Kevin Knox. Yeah, so those Kevin Knox is heading to the Golden State Warriors, guys. Golden State. So Golden State gets Kevin Knox. Let's take a look. He says, "Yes, great move, Josh Hart. Well, let's keep up the good decisions making Knicks." Yeah. and they still have a plot. They still have a plethora of first round picks. It's not like they're getting picks depleted. They have a lot of first round picks. You still have the Evan Fournier contract, which is being discussed for the Zach Levine move. So personally, if man, that will get me excited. If we could, I would not like to lose Quentin Grimes. If there were, of course, I'm wearing Obi Toppin's jersey today, because he might be moved. This might be the last time before I put it away and vacuum seal it if he does get moved, and just keep it there as a collectible. Hopefully not. Hopefully I can continue wearing it until he so continues playing for the Knickerbockers. But this is a business. So if you telling me we're gonna upgrade to a Zach Levine, bona fide All Star, and unfortunately Obi Toppin has to be moved. Let's face it, I gotta have it's a business. I gotta swallow my pride, and I know that Toppin isn't gonna get the numbers all the time to play to the level of a Zach Levine, what he could bring immediately once he steps on the floor with his team. So we wait. That's the big one. That's the big fish we're waiting to see if the Knicks will pull the trigger. If they're willing to do it. Boy, look at Boston. Jalen Brown suffered a fractured face. Here we go. Devontae Graham was traded for Josh Richardson. So New Orleans got rid of Graham, and Josh Richardson goes to the Pelicans. And a 4 round pick. So a lot of second round picks being moved. A lot. Oh, Mason Plumlee is going to the Clippers. The Hornets trade Mason Plumlee to the Clippers. So Reggie Jackson is going to Charlotte. But Charlotte needs point guard, and Clippers need point guard. They got rid of Reggie Jackson. That's another one that's a head scratcher for Plumlee, though. That's a weird one. Now, the one everyone's waiting for. We got about 16 minutes. Toronto Raptors. You got Van Fleet was a name that came up. They just traded for Jakob Poto, who's in Toronto. OG Ananobi. I believe Crowder generated 5 second round picks for Brooklyn. Yeah, a lot of weird Sheldon. A lot of weird trades. They're very odd, weird ones because Clippers were in the need. Were looking for a point guard. They want a point guard, and the only good point guard, only point guard that's on the roster, they moved them to Hornets for Mason Plumlee. Plumlee, where he's gonna screen for a poor. He's not a needle mover. I would have stood with the point guard who could at least felicitate and run my offense. I that one there for Clippers. I know they got Aaron Gordon, maybe because I guess Reggie Jackson becomes expendable, but you want an older Eric Gordon. Those are, like you said, Sheldon, a lot of odd move. And of course the move for the Rockets getting John Wall and Danny Green. I wouldn't be surprised if John Wall gets bought out immediately. So Mike Muscala going to the Celtics for Justin Jackson and 2 second round picks. That's weird. It's so weird. Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Everybody wants to come on like yesterday and have a conversation. You're more than happy to. So a lot of great. You know what? There really isn't a clear cut favorite, unless you want to say that it's now with Jalen Brown getting hurt with that face fracture. Boston gets a little derailed. Brooklyn's not the favorite. Of course, we're losing those guys. 76ers, do you trust them in the postseason with Doc Rivers, you know, and Joel Embiid? They might be the kind of the front runners there to want to win, to come out of the East. The East is open. If the Knicks could pull a move here, and I believe they're a move away, if they could get themselves another player, if they could make a move, my goodness, they could really have an opportunity not to win the East, but make some noise in the postseason. The East is open. Yes, Elon. Yes, definitely some interesting trades. The trades are really, really weird. Oh, especially Sadiq Bey, especially Sadiq Bey. For because I know we were talking about that yesterday with the with Jose Mello, one of my guys here in the chat, about Wiseman and the minute he got there, they've been trying to move him. Um, wow, I know they had to get rid of City Bay with the emergence of playing rooms, but man, that was a for Wiseman. Interesting choice there. I'm surprised that. Let me ask you, Galen, are they going to move Nolan's Noel? There's talks about Nolan's Noel going to Philadelphia. I know they got 10 minutes here to go. Philadelphia was really interested in getting Nolan's Noel. Yeah, the East is open. If New York could just get that one more, and I'm trying to as right now Levine is trending right now. Let's see. Right now it's quiet. Bring Zach Levine to New York. I don't know. I think that would have came in already. It's 10 minutes. One thing about Zach Levine, he's making close to 40 million. It's going to hurt the cap. He's his contract continues to escalate. But man, just the thought of getting him this season, bringing in here, man, that's very very intriguing. All right, the next final 11 minutes here. Let's see. Remember, about half hour afterwards, trades get reported and then we'll be into the league and then probably get reported by media after all the approval and XYZ there. Let's see what maybe the Clippers are looking to see with the buying market a point guard, I guess, bought out. You know, they traded all their point guards and they don't have a point guard. They're weird moves. Unless if there's another move coming up or they're working on another move. Let's see. Let's see what else is going on. I'm just refreshing to see if I see anything. Nope, I don't see anything yet. Oh wait, I got another new tweet from Woj. Let's see what Woj just say. All right, here we go. The Blazers are trading Gary Payton II back to the Golden State Warriors for 5 second round picks. Boy, these teams are just giving away second round picks like there's like they're a government cheese. Second round picks are going out like nothing, like hotcakes. We need a big move. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're working their butts off to try to make one, but they also want to be responsible. They're one thing I got to give them credit. As much as as much as I go say that Leon Rose falls asleep and whatever the case is, with the Knicks are not one of the high payroll teams. Remember, years in the past, they used to be one of the highest. They had the highest payroll and they had terrible players, and they were in cap hell and they couldn't do nothing. The Knicks are 22 in the league in payroll. Yeah, they're on sale like yeah, 2 for 1. Like it's 2 for Tuesday. My goodness, yes. They're going like hotcakes. I'm trying to refresh to see if anything else came. Let me check my other computer. Oh, it's going haywire. Maybe it's time to shut down. Let's take a look at this one here. Ah, here we go. Ian Begley. Ian Begley usually has something Knicks related, Knicks centric. On the Zach Levine, communications to someone earlier this afternoon that the trade for Levine was highly unlikely to happen. So Bucks has sought depth guard and showed continued interest in Derrick Rose. Justin Jackson has been waived by OKC in that Muscala deal, so he'll be available. Justin Jackson. All right, so we'll wait to see. Yep, Gary Payne the second goes back. Few number twos are impactful. Yeah, the number two draft, second round draft picks, they I mean, for us, it works out, Steve. If you're a Knicks fan, because of what Jericho Sims and Miles McBride have turned into very surprisingly very good players for us. Beneficial, but also second. A lot of majority of second round picks don't stick. They usually G League affiliates. You send them in the developmental league to see if you got something, and sometimes you let them go. Oh, so they are getting eh, Oh, did you hear Richard Jefferson say out there? Richard Jefferson just said the most stupidest comment, which he does that on a basically. Mason Plumlee is actually better than Isaiah Hartenstein. Oof, that was a rough one. Oh, it looks like Westbrook is going to the Clippers. Ugh, that would be hilarious. He goes back, stays in LA into the Clippers. Oh my goodness, that would be hilarious. Westbrook going against the rival Lakers, and then in the playoffs or in a position where the Clippers eliminate the Lakers and Westbrook is the main catalyst. Oh, that'd be so juicy. So 3.5 minutes left here before the official Trade deadline comes to an end, but of course trades will come after the fact, especially with the yeah, as long as they get it to the commissioner's office. It's the same thing with the MLB baseball. Let's see if anything else has come in. Oh, we got more notifications coming in. Let's see. Oh, we got NBA TV, but I don't think there's anything. Usually they don't report anything official. No. So it looks like the Atlanta Hawks are planning to keep John Collins. So John Collins, boy, they've been trying to get rid of him since he signed that extension with the Hawks. He's staying with the Hawks. Yes, I agree with you. Westbrook, yes. Westbrook did it, yes, he got that MVP and he had a lot of triple doubles and he got people going. But yes, I think he's a little bit overrated for quite some time. For not for the amount of money that he's getting paid this year, close to 40 plus million. Yes, extremely overrated. It'll be interesting in this season coming up. What is he going to sign for? Is he going to sign for a veteran minimum, a mid-level exception for a Russell Westbrook, and who will sign him? Remember, he is 30. He is 35, if I'm not mistaken. It'll be interesting to see what team will he go to or take a flyer on a Russell Westbrook. I know it looks like it's going to be the Clippers here after this buyout by Utah. I believe he'll sign the remainder of the year with the Clippers. Now, if you're the Clippers, I won't try to give him a multi-year deal. Just sign him for the remainder of the year, and you see what he gives you with George and Leonard. He still could distribute the basketball. Don't get me wrong. He's still but not that elite player where you're going to not at 40 million. No way. He's still a serviceable NBA player, and he'll be motivated because don't you think after getting released, getting moved, traded first from the Lakers, then released by Utah, bought out, whatever the case you want to call it, a little bit of an embarrassment. He's going to want to prove himself to the league. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder. Right now, quiet is only the final minutes here of the trading deadline. Knicks so far in the Knicks front. There was a lot of buzz with Zach Levine. When I was coming home, I was listening to a lot of different things. I saw a lot of retweeting, and it was getting some traction with Zach Levine, and I I had a little bit of a vision there of a Knicks team with a Zach Levine and how it looks. I actually stopped for a moment to envision Zach Levine on this team to see what it looks like. How of a deadly team the Knicks would have looked with a Levine. So the trade deadline has come to an end. So let's see what trades comes in. Oh, we'll see in a minute. Wow, the Spurs with Devontae Graham. They got himself a pretty good point guard there for the remainder of whatever they could build off of Devontae Graham. Not he overachieved in the Hornets, my opinion. He got that contract with the Pelicans, and the Pelicans now move away from him. I think this trading deadline, to be honest with you, the Lakers did a nice overhaul. I will hate to say that, but when you make that nice overhaul, what the Lakers did, they got some good players there. They moved away from Westbrook. They brought in some guys from Russell. They got themselves the center from Orlando, Mo Bamba. They got they not a bad move there by the Lakers. I thought the Lakers really improved Vanderbilt. The Lakers really are going to be Also, I was remember we had night. I don't know if those that watched along with me yesterday. I had Nice on with us on the channel, and Nice is for it lives in Colorado. And I mentioned what would the Denver Nuggets do? They moved Bones Holland. They ended up bringing in Thomas Bryant to backup center for Jokic. Which gives some minutes on the floor for Jokic. If you want to go twin tower, at times you could move Thomas Bryant to the power forward position after for a short span. Interesting what they did there. We'll wait to see if anything comes in. Nothing has come in yet. Nothing. Trying to make sure. Oh wait, we got another. We got a Shams bomb. Let's see what Shams says. Nope, not to say nothing. All right, for those that just join us, again, Hawks got Sadiq Bey, Warriors got Gary Payne II, Clippers got Eric Gordon, Bones Hollins, Mason Plumlee, Pistons acquired James Wiseman. I know my friend in the chat didn't like that. Galen Gadgets. You also got the Grizzlies got Luke Kennard, Bucks acquired Jay Crowder. Of course, we saw the Brooklyn Net big trade with moves Kevin Durant out west. Brooklyn looked like they held those players that Malik Beige. Let's see. Now remember, the Knicks got two roster spots available. They got to fill them out. They got two roster spots that they could get. Maybe they'll wait for the buyout market to see who gets bought out for what team. Bring someone that they might need. There might be someone out there that just bench, or there was also that report many a while back that one of those spots could be. I don't personally. I mean, it's gonna be a lightning rod for a conversation, but that one of the spots could be a Carmelo Anthony spot for the New York Knicks. I know Carmelo had one of the reasons why he didn't sign with the West Coast teams because remember his son now plays in St. Clair, or one of the high schools in New York area. He's closer, wants to be to watch some of his kids' games, and he's on the East Coast for his son's games. There was talks about that a reunion. He was waiting to see if Donovan Mitchell was going to sign. The Knicks would have brought in Donovan Mitchell. Melo thought about signing with the Knicks there to play. If now that there's room, maybe Melo Anthony off the bench to boost up that power forward backup. You could play those minutes that Randall, if you were to move Toppin, that would have been interesting. That would have been an interesting development there. But it looks like Toppin will stay here. Looks like Toppin is not going anywhere, at least in the trading deadline. And it looks like Toppin will be remaining with the Knicks here. It looks like Zach LaVine will stay in Chicago. Maybe this is the second time they were engaged in this talks. But man, for 40, he's got the escalating clause. For LaVine, I think it's 42. Then it goes up to 48 million in year three. It's a very expensive contract to bring here. Boy, you still got to extend Manuel quickly. You got to make a decision on Obi Toppin if you're going to extend him. They're going to be eligible for extensions. Josh Hart, he's getting in. He might get opt out and looking for an extension for the Knicks. So, damn Levine, although it would have been great, it would have been nice, but man, looks like OG Anunoby is not being moved by the Toronto. All that hype that Toronto with all these players, the Siakam, Van Fleet, nothing. Although we could say last second it was just waiting for approval from the league office. We'll see you. Evan Fournier isn't going anywhere either. Fournier was going to stay on this team. I wouldn't be surprised if Danny Green goes back to the 70s. Begley has to right here. Ian Begley. Knicks will not have a deal that includes Obi Toppin at the trading deadline. Okay, so Toppin isn't going anywhere, which is good, which is a good thing. So we're not losing. We're not losing Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin will stay with the Knicks here going forward. Derrick Rose is still on the team. All right, so we'll wait here, guys. Any question? Anyone else here? I've seen anything. Now I know I mentioned I said that I asked for Melo last time. Knicks the way they're constituted right now, no trades with two roster spots. Who would you like to fill those two roster spots? In the buy, or do you want to wait? Do you need more availability to see? Do you bring up a couple of kids from on a two-way contract to fill those roles from your G League squad? I would like to see someone to come up from with some who could rebound on this team. The Knicks got enough scoring. I would like someone who would be comes out there and clean up the glass for with the second unit. No, nothing. Nothing else is coming. Let's see if anything. Nope, nope. So what I'm reading from Mark Berman, who Mark Berman makes up a little bit of stories himself. It says that Knicks executive William Wesley has a love affair with Obi Toppin and they said an asking price was way too high. Thibodeau still has reservations on Obi Toppin's basketball IQ. So what is being reported, there's a disconnect there. The front office loves Obi Toppin, but the head coach doesn't think or isn't his type of player. Now, this is something like Cam Reddish all over again. And of course, and once we could see that, but Toppin is extremely talented. But when he makes a mistake or an error on the court, and that's gonna come. This is his third year in the NBA, where he don't play much minutes behind a two-time All Star. Kelvin T. Jones, what's up? And it's starting to look like to Cam Reddish with Obi Toppin. Hopefully not, because I think that's gonna help. That's gonna usher the door to Thibodeau. Because if the front office really loves Obi Toppin and the coach thinks he's not a high basketball IQ guy, there's gonna be a buddy in the head. That's we already butt head for Cam Reddish, and we traded a first round pick to get him, and we traded another first round pick to get him out of here. Like, granted, we got Josh Hart. Now you're gonna come up pull the same thing with an Obi Toppin. It's going to not sit right with the front office. Yes, we're trusting the process. Although I know you must have been sweating when we thought like Zach Levine. I thought 60% Zach Levine was coming to the New York Knicks, because I saw it reported by a lot of different beat writers who don't put names out there or don't put their credibility out there when the Knicks saying that the Knicks were engaging in advanced talks with the Bulls doesn't mean that they're going to trade, but they had advanced talks for Zach Levine, and it got me to the point where I actually envisioned Kelvin what this team Knicks looks like, um, what this team looks like with a Zach Levine in the starting lineup with Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, um, Julius Randle, and Jalen Brunson. I don't know if RJ Barrett. I know Steve was saying that you might can't move RJ with his contract. Probably you're correct, but the first report was Fournier, Grimes, Toppin, you know, Rose, and some draft picks. I'm like, ooh, but man, they wanted too much. I thought it was too much too for the at least the three, I wouldn't have been if you know what if it's three if we would have some way somehow by hook or crook would have kept Quentin Grimes and moved Obi. As much as you know me, I got his jersey on right now, Obi Toppin. I love Obi Toppin. Everybody knows that. But if you had to move, if you had to move Obi Toppin and got on a Zach Levine, I don't think currently right now, they're not even the next 3 years. Toppin could give you the offense or the impact that as Levine would have given you. So I would have been all right with that. It would have been a tough pill to swallow, but I would have been okay with it. But man, Levine, $40 million plus player, that's a lot of money though. No, they had it where the numbers matched. That's why all those players were going back. You were the Knicks were end up was going to get Dragic as well as Levine back. Where if they would have gotten, if you'd have told me he would have got himself another forward, but I'm all right with the way they didn't. I'm okay with Josh Hart right now, Kelvin. If this is the last, if we wait a few more minutes because my moves might happen that was at the deadline, and we have to wait for the commissioner's approval, the all league office to approve an XYZ before telling the media. But if that's all the move they did, I'm fine with Josh Hart. I don't mind that. I don't mind Josh Hart due to the fact that you got rid of three players that are on your deep bench, from that you're not playing. Mikhailo, Diacono, and Cam Reddish for a player who's going to be very impactful on the team. He's, I know that I was mentioning that he's the second. He is the number one rebounding guard in the league. And my goodness, 8.5 rebounds per game says a lot. I'm excited for that because this team is offensively they could score. Could they be better at 3-point land? Absolutely. But man, Hart is a good shooter, mid-range shooter who finishes around the glass. Who's you know now it's up to the coach to distribute the minutes. I believe Miles McBride will lose a couple of minutes here. You could lose minutes from a little bit of everyone, um, especially down the stretch here. You bring in Josh Hart. I don't know. That's going to be interesting how the minute distribution. I just hope he just doesn't have no. Coaches did not play DMPs. I hope that there's no DMPs with Josh Hart, especially at $12 million. But I don't think so. If you're bringing this guy in at $12 million, you're going to play him. You can't have. You can't have. You can't have another. You can't have. Let me see. 18 and 12. You can't have $30 million sitting on the bench. When I mean 30, that it's not played by the coach. And Fournier, if you that what's happened is Fournier and Josh Hart. So one of these two is gonna get to play, and Hart is gonna play. He's gonna play. No, so far I don't hear anything. So far, it looks like everyone is all the moves. There's been a lot, like we mentioned a little earlier, Kelvin. There's been a lot of moves that we made you scratch your head. And let's see what. The problem is that the players playing in the system Tibbs is usually yeah. Oh, Kelvin, I did put the link there. Come, you want to join? Come and join me and talk. I mean, right now, here, you. The link is in there. Agent, salute. Let me read his. Says Agent Super Argo says, I'm getting sick of tired of Tibbs. He thinks he's the GM of the Timberwolves. If Thibodeau wants to coach Cam, he would have played him best basketball. I would. He would have been looking to trade Obi. I think Obi looked like Obi almost got moved. Melvin, salute. What's up, Knicks Nation? Going to the game tomorrow night against the 76ers with your son. Oh, have fun and grandson. I'm really looking forward for. Hope we're keeping Obi. Our problem is Scarecrow Thibodeau. Yeah, Toppin isn't going anywhere. Melvin Smith. Enjoy that game, by the way, with the 76ers. That's going to be a really good one because I think Josh Hart will be there. I believe Josh Hart will be there. I think he's ready. I think he's ready to come back east. He's ready to go with his buddy Jalen Brunson. I wouldn't be surprised. They're gonna. It's gonna be a good game. You're gonna like that fun game there. He subs based on time versus need. He's gonna get better at using. Yes, I agree, Kelvin. I 1,000% agree. Sometimes I always say, does he have to take in the temperature of the game? Sometimes you need. There's a run coming here, and it's not, and it's happening in the fourth quarter with halfway through the quarter or before 8 minutes left in the quarter. You might need a sub here. You don't have to wait 3 minutes in the third quarter to make your first sub. You got to take a temperature of the team of the game. Sometimes you're getting killed. Sometimes you need to make a move, and he doesn't. I don't want no bandwagon Net fans trying to jump ship from Brooklyn. Look, the Knicks always gonna have their fan base. I don't think any one of those defectors jumped off that went away from the Knicks. I doubt it. Oh boy, but when the Knicks start getting better, that bandwagon is gonna jump so much. But remember, take all the receipts, jack all the haters that didn't like the Knicks, and when they start getting good, oh boy, I'm gonna have a feast. I made a list, especially in my family about that. Oh, I got the list of all the family members that love Golden State and Curry. And when the Knicks start going good, can't wait to rub that in their face. I cannot wait because the bandwagoners are coming. Knicks GM 100. I truly unbelievable the Lakers got all that. Yes, they made a big haul. They changed the whole team. Again, for those guys that are joining us here, if you're more that would like to come on, please come on and join me on the panel. We'll definitely also have someone to talk to as well if anybody wants to come on, back and forth. You're more than welcome. Anyone from anyone in the chat, anyone, you are more than welcome. Don't have to be on camera. You could have your camera off and just come on and we'll have a good conversation here. Exactly. Yes. Especially when his substitution pattern. My God. I know Nick's GM 100. Thanks for the tweet last night. I got there. I responded back earlier to you there, man. You think we overpaid? I think he's expressed that he thought we might overpay for Josh Hart. I don't know. Reddish, it wouldn't be equal. I don't know. All right, let me see this. I'm starting to think that Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and Harden started to realize that the Knicks are the number one basketball team, despite Brooklyn always have. Yes, they weren't getting covered in their city the way these guys, remember, these guys want their ego stroked. They want to be the biggest thing in the city or wherever they're at. They're used to that. In Oklahoma, they were the rock stars. Harden and KD. Golden State, they were the it factors. They were the main. They were the number one show wherever he went. And coming over to New York, Brooklyn, they weren't. And I think that also burned a little bit. Like Kyrie thought they were just showing up. And you know what? If anyone should be mad, it should be Kevin Durant should be mad at Kyrie because everyone and their mother thought that Kevin Durant was going to be a Knick. And Kyrie stepped in and said, no, he didn't want to play for Dolan. So how did that work out? You know what I mean? Jose says, again, not a superstar in Madison Square Garden. We almost had Levine, but they were at least they weren't irresponsible. I'll say they weren't irresponsible. They still got chance to do some moves. I understand what you mean. It gets a little frustrated, but we basically sent three first round picks on the Cam Reddish experiment. Right, I got you. I mentioned that earlier when we were talking about that. The Knicks gave up a first round pick for along with Knox to get Reddish, which okay. Reddish has an eye upside. You're bringing a friend of, you're bringing a former college teammate of RJ Barrett. Will probably get him going. Whose wingspan at 7'2". He's 6'8". All that intangibles that came with a Cam Reddish. And yes, and then you send him out. You send him out. You move him along with Sky, Richie Adiakono. Yeah, I know they're not. You need those players for the, at least for the bench, practice players who high IQ, smart, and you move them with a first round pick. You're right. You're for Josh Hart, but Josh Hart is number one guard, rebounding guard in the NBA. Knicks 100. He is. And he's, I'm not saying he's a needle mover, but he's giving us something that you don't like either. He probably takes over from Manu quickly defensively because he's a great defensive perimeter shooter, a perimeter defender, and maybe now you could see less of quickly. I know you're not a big fan of Emmanuel quickly, but now if Josh Hart is out there playing those defensive roles, that's going to help. Where Reddish wasn't giving us that. So I'm trying to see a positive on that one. I understand what you mean there, though. Cam has to learn how to show his dog side. He's too smooth for his own good. That was a problem. Maybe this is a learning. This is the second team that he got moved to. I know he mentioned in Atlanta he wanted to be a little more vocal in the offense, but hmm, we just added a player for journeyman Josh Hart. This is his second team. He's still young. He's only 27 years old. Knicks. He's only 27 years old. He's got a body of work where we know he's a defensive prow. This is a move that they made the head coach happy. They brought in Reddish last year. Coach wasn't happy about it. So now we're going to trade and we're going to get you a player that you like. And let's see you now. Now the expectation rises because we got you a player that you want. We're going to, that you want. You want a defensive player for a perimeter. All right, let's go. Let me see you now turn, I guess, in your, the journeyman or the chicken into chicken salad. Let's see. We're growing our own. Yes. Cam was an upgrade over Kevin Knox, and now Hart is an upgrade over Cam. I see that way too, Agent Argo. But I understand where Knicks 100 comes from, the giving up the protected for another protected first, another first round pick. I get it. I get where he means. I feel that pain when he comes from there. Which tweet is that, Kelvin? Which tweet is that one? That I did not see. Cam is a finesse player. RJ needs to snap out of it. His defense is inconsistent, defensive play, and making it his team harder to win games. RJ Barrett, I still think he have an off year kind of because of the he was almost gone for that Donovan Mitchell move, and I think he hasn't really recovered it. Yes, we mentioned that yesterday. You mentioned that yesterday, Vanderbilt, and of course when we were right before he got moved, Vanderbilt and McDaniels from the Wolves got traded, and the two I wanted to for us to get. I know that. Oh yes, 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 yes. Now I understand, Kelvin. It's yes, yes indeed. Thank you. Yes. As I try to refresh and see where we see anything new come up. So it's been a half hour since the trading deadline has concluded. Nothing else has come in. Usually last minute, nothing. Jose says this coach should be fired. Why? Why have good players on the bench? Hmm. Hmm. Says my son plays Josh Hart on his team. Bet I swear by the guy I will prefer by this guy. Me, I will prefer Reddish. However, this guy has been thinking Reggie Bullock, and that's fine with me. I think he's a better Melvin. I think Josh Hart is a better improved. He's an upgrade from a Reggie Bullock because Josh Hart rebounds the ball. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but he is a hell of a rebound. He's averaging almost 9 rebound, double figures in rebound for 6'5" for the guard, and he's percentage finishing around the basket for a guard is one of the top three in the NBA right now. He's shooting. Yes, he needs work in his 3 point shooting. He's only shooting 32% or 32.4% from 3 point land. But when it comes to the mid range, he's a hell of a mid range shooter. I just like the dynamics with him, the possibilities with him, and Jalen Brunson. I think he's gonna help Brunson engage more on the defensive end. Like they're gonna go at it. They're look, one thing about Villanova basketball, those Wildcats, they're very smart, high IQ basketball. Most of the players, even Richard Diacono, they're smart NBA players. When they play the game fundamentally smart, high IQ basketball players, and Josh Hart is that. And I know, and right now I am excited. I want to see it. Let me see it. Give me these last 20. Before we make that assumption, let's wait for these last remaining 25 games left for the Knicks. Let's see how Josh Hart looks before we kill this trade. Because right now, regardless, let's say we don't make the Josh Hart trade, guys, and we would have kept everyone as is. We know Reddish was still going to still be eating that bench. At least we got a player that's going to be involved, that's going to play, that could step in, and could help the team currently right now. We're in a need where we need it. We need rebounding, and we need perimeter defense. And he's averaging 12 points a game. It's you could say 8 points more than what Miles McBride has given us per game. Per game, although McBride has been playing well, I really like the way that he has turned the corner, and maybe McBride is ready to take that next step. But now he's going to have to now prove that he needs to be on that floor, and I think McBride will. Um, It makes our defense more agile. I get that, but he's small like the rest of the team. Yes, that's the one thing. I give you 100% that I was looking. I was, me. I wanted, and I mentioned it last night. If we were gonna get anybody on the wing, I wanted someone like a Laurie Marketing type. I made those an example. Marketing, Karzingis, Vanderbilt, those type of wing. That was gonna get a three who was or a power forward type who could play the three at that type of height. Obi Ananobi would have been a good pick. 6'8", Sadiq Bey. Those type where you have size, where you could match him up and move him. And I prefer, especially if you're going up against like a 6'7" and you're 6'9", 6'11", you could shoot over, have that height advantage to shoot the jumper over and spread the floor. That's my. But Hart at 6'5", I get it. I get what you mean. A little short, but man, but the numbers don't lie. When 2 years ago, in that we here season, he wanted to be in the Knicks. He wanted to come to New York. He said he wanted and he wants to play in New York. When you this is the thing that we I remember we always talked about, and I mentioned that many you guys watch long. And I would say, who is the superstar? And I'm not saying Josh Hart is a superstar. No, 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 no. Don't before you say, well, he's not a superstar. But when you got superstar, who was the superstar that had the cojones, the testicles, the intestinal fortitude to want to come and play for the Knicks and say, you know what, I want to be that player. LeBron didn't have it. He decided to go to South Beach. Durant didn't want to come play the Knicks. I'll go play with I'll team up with Kyrie and we'll possibly do whatever the way we did in Brooklyn. My point is, when you got guys that wants to come to New York, like Amari Stoudemire, when now Jalen Brunson wanted to play, Donovan Mitchell wanted to play in New York, you go get those players. They want to be here. Look at Jalen Brunson. He wants to be here. He's craving. He wants to be in New York. Josh Hart wants to play in New York. Get those kind of players that want to come here because they're going to get invested no matter what you tell them or ask them to do. If the coach tells you, I want you to be, you're going to be just a defensive specialist. They wanted to be here and they say they want to be in New York. They're going to do it. Trust me. They're not going to sour over it. So I really am happy that players wanted to play here. You like Powell. I like Powell too. I like Norman Powell. I was hoping the Knicks would have got him a couple years ago. We're Seth says we're one player short going to the second round of the playoffs. Yeah, fair question. Fair analogy there on that. Very fair. Let me ask you this, Jose. That one player, hypothetically, is it a bench player for the getting that second round or a superstar or a borderline all star? There's a difference between a borderline all star superstar. I believe like a borderline all star is like a Brunson Randall. Randall is an all star, yes. But I mean, that's that level, consistent borderline all star. Now, superstar is like the superstar that he just gets out of bed and he's just gonna drop and he's gonna take over a game. I don't think the Knicks have that superstar. They have borderline all stars, but they don't have that superstar. Kelvin says, yes, we need a shooter because of the offense. Tip run. We're getting a let slasher, the slashers, Obi, Rim, RJ, Grimes instead of spreading the floor. Yes, that's the thing. Kelvin, man, you mentioned that as well. I was watching the game in Orlando, and I'm seeing a lot of Obi just hides and camps at that 3 point line. Also Barrett at times, and it's because it's designed by the head coach. They want him to stay there in the corner and be corner boys. That's why Kevin Knox got that nickname, Corner Boy Kev, because he already was hanging out in that corner, and it didn't work out here. I would love them, and of course, I don't know if you remember that play where Obi Toppin in that fourth quarter was the top of the key. Instead of staying there shooting that three, he decided to drive, and he tried to go for that finger roll and got that layup finger roll and got fouled. Almost had a 3 point play there, and I was like, oh, he actually drove to the basket. That you're right. I would like to see Obi continue to slash more. You're starting to see that more with RJ Barrett. Barrett does that. He could score from the floor. Quentin Grimes, you know me. I always say on the watch along, he has that burst of speed that I love. When he doesn't know have that confidence, he knows he's not gonna hit that three ball. He just slashes and moves so fast. I want to see Obi Toppin get into that mentality more. I agree with you on that. Oh, and Jalen almost lost his hearing, but I know a team was coming to the Knicks. He was excited. That video was cool. No, Sadiq got moved. Sadiq Bey got moved. Agent Sadiq Bey, believe. Damn, where did he go? I just saw it there. I'll get it for you in a moment. He got moved, so Sadiq Bey did get moved, and I believe I'll tell you right now. Let me look up again. A bunch. There was a lot of movement. there. Did he go to Golden State? I think he got went to Golden State. Yes, Golden State. So Sadiq Bey goes to Golden State Warriors. Mr. Johnny Davis, salute our number one draft pick in the building. Absolutely good to see you. And here, Tibbs was a kryptonite to these young players. Obi plays timid and doesn't explode on the court. Yeah, he's afraid of making a mistake, and it shows. Agent, when Obi Toppin plays, he's always looking over his shoulder, and that's a bad thing because it was established in year one. Whenever Obi made a mistake, boom, yeah, Thibodeau was yanking him. So he plays with that. When he shoots the ball, and when he shoots with confidence, he's still looking at the bench because even if he shoots with confidence, he hits a couple shots. He's got the next dead whistle. He's getting subbed out. So who could really play have a psyche to play like that? I gotta be flawless, or this head coach is gonna pull me no matter what. And when I do play well and I'm hitting some shots, I'm still gonna get replaced because I'm not, the number one alpha dog on the team is playing my position ahead of time. So that's an interesting. I'm surprised they didn't move him here in the trade deadline. But you don't make a move to make a move to get rid of a player like that. Give him away. But we saw reports there was what William Wesley and the upper don't they're very high on Obi Toppin. They don't want to move away from an Obi Toppin. So we'll see here. Please, yes, hit those likes. I definitely would appreciate it and helps the channel. And thank you guys for joining me on this trading deadline. I came home running from work. I was coming home from work, responsibly on the road, of course. And I was trying to I got to get here before 3. I made the stream for 3 o'clock. I said, I got to get on a little earlier because the trade deadline ends at 3. And if anything breaks, so especially when I heard the Zach Levine, I was like, oh man, I want to be on the air live when they report that, not afterwards, and just give me my raw emotion. And anyway, it was good. I appreciate you guys watching along here, joining us. Let's see. Kelvin says RJ just gotta pass better out of his drives. Grimes has a great first step. Obi brings instant energy and the crowd involvement. Yes, when he slashes and dunks, that's the time crap Thibodeau uses. Yes, yes. Let's see what Melvin Smith. What would be nice with Josh Hart being a rebounding beast and a good defender? Maybe our transition basketball will become a more potent. Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that, Melvin Smith, because put yourself in an envision, right, where if he's on the plane with the second unit and he's working the second unit, who's on that second unit? Toppin. Who the hell loves to run and transition? Toppin. But man, you got guards where quickly rebounds as much as you don't like it or not. Quickly rebounds extremely well for a guard as well with Hart. Now you got Toppin who could cook in that transition game. You add another element for the Knicks here because now even if you're trailing and you go out in transition, or if you want to extend the lead with some missed shots from against the second unit, and you start running in transition and scoring easy buckets, that's just going to add more firepower to the Knicks on the offense. So I that's a good point there, and you got to like the fact that we're getting that rebounding, and it's going to only help the transition game as well as the defensive metrics. Now, let me ask you guys this. I know we all complain about Barrett and feels that Barrett has blinders whenever he drives to the basket. Is it because of what percentage shot the 3-point players on the team? Because mostly he's a young player himself. Does he want to give it to Quentin Grimes, another young player, to hit the three ball? Or the way he's spaced too many, he likes to go to the left a lot, and usually the better right-handed shooter is on the other side. It's so many to with RJ Barrett of why he's keeping his blinders on. That's got to be. I would love to pick his brain and figure out why he doesn't look to try to get more assists. Also, you got to remember last year, 2 years when he was driving, he wasn't getting a lot of foul calls, and I don't think he still gets enough foul calls. Could be he's a little skittish to pass. If they foul him, he rather just go complete the play and not rely on passing and getting fouled on the pass. All those different things. Maybe that's in his head. That's just trying to be a devil's advocate here with and not defending him, but maybe that's just throwing it out there. Maybe that's why Barrett doesn't pass to his shooters on the wings. Maybe you don't have confidence in his wing shooters. Usually, when he ends up going into the space where he has a peripheral vision to his wing shooter is either Julius Randle, and he goes, you know what, Julius gets the ball enough. I'm just going to try to score too. It could be all those combinations. So no trades, no nothing. For no other trades came in after the whistle. Now the buyout market is going to be extremely interesting. The Warriors will have roughly $7 million in luxury tax this year today on trades and 30 million in at 30 million in 23 to 23. Ugh, wow, the Raptors. I mean the Warriors. Wow. I'll tell you one thing. One of the most disappointing teams it was the Toronto Raptors. I mentioned them a few seconds ago. What a disappointing! They had a lot of players to move there. They stay in the pack. Um, all that chatter and talk with OG Anunoby removed. What happened here? All right. Okay. What a disappointing part for the Raptors. All right. I feel like the key to our offense flow, RJ being better facilitator. Yeah, when he's up with, but I want him to be a facilitator when he's with the second unit, Kelvin. When he's with the starters, let Jalen Brunson do what he has to do. I think the problem with him is that he can't jump. He might not have enough hops on his. Interesting. It- oh, let me get Gideon in for a moment.
Salute, salute.
Hey, Gideon, how are you, buddy?
Good, good, good. Happy trip. Well, how's your day, man?
Day is good. A little crazy. Wanted to come in here, run in here, go over this. A lot of movement here for both teams here. For a lot of teams here, a lot of trade moves that didn't make sense. But give me your analysis and your thoughts here on this trade deadline.
Golden State got better. Golden State turned things around. The Warriors got better. Getting Gary Payne back was enormous. Getting John Collins is big. The Warriors both to the depth. Even the Hawks, I think, got better. Getting Sadiq Bey that could stroke it from three, play good defense against Sadiq Bey will help the Hawks. I mean, the Clippers
Did he go to the
getting
Hawks or did he even go to the Golden State?
no, he's going to the Hawks.
He
Sadiq
went to
Bey's going
Golden
to
State,
Atlanta.
no, but
No,
oh,
yeah,
he
and then
was they
Atlanta traded
moved him. Okay.
5 picks to first rounders to get Sadiq Bey. Um, the
Ah,
Clippers, even the Clippers are making some good moves. Mason Plumlee, Eric Gordon, Bones Highland, A-OK moves right there for those teams for the Clippers.
let
Even
me
the
ask you about the.
Lakers.
Let me go with the Clippers. Let me let. let me get. Well, let's go with the Clippers first, though. Let me. But we'll get to these teams. We got plenty to go over with. But with the Clippers, I don't understand. They got rid of their 2 point guards. They didn't bring any point guards back.
Good point.
I thought that was kind of head strike. Who's going to bring the ball with George and Leonard, and who's going to set them up?
That is a good
I
point,
mean,
though.
unless they're really going in Trevor's man, Russell
Yeah,
Westbrook,
it,
maybe.
it'll be. Yeah, I think they'll try to go for Russ, but right now it'll be Terrence Mann. Yeah, right now it'll be
Okay.
Terrence Mann.
And now let's go. I know Knicks GM 100, and I agree with him. The Lakers pretty much overhauled their team there.
Hmm.
You know the Lakers, they got Mo Bamba. They made some moves. That move there with Russell. Tell me, what's your thoughts on the Lakers with the moves there?
They're improving. They're getting better. Mumbamba can stroke it from three, a good defender. D'Angelo Russell, underrated ball handler, can play make when he wants to, can stroke it from three, hit a mid-range shot. Malik Beasley, I know he can be streakier than Car West, but when he's on, he can really light it up. A good bloodhound of defender, and same thing with Jared Vanderbilt, good defender, could could pickpocket you. The Lakers made some moves. I'm surprised to trade away Thomas Bryant, but other than that, the Lakers made some pretty good moves to bolster up their defense. And if they're healthy, they're gonna be scary.
Well, with Thomas Bryant going is because they got Mo Bamba there. They brought in a Mo Bamba into the
That's true.
fold. Mo Bamba who could stretch the floor, with Davis, with LeBron there, and not only that, with LeBron doesn't need to. Mo Bamba doesn't need to play in that paint area, especially when guys like Davis and LeBron likes to go and attack at the post. He could actually
Mm-hmm.
shoot the three and spread the floor, a la Brook Lopez. One thing about the Lakers that I'm wondering with them, do they have enough time with their main 25 plus games to gel, get together for a postseason? Because that's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of an overhaul to get acclimated to them.
That's true. That's true. It's gonna take this team time to put the pieces in the puzzle. It's gonna take some time, and that's the thing there. And
Do they have enough time?
I don't think they make the playoffs. I think they make the play in, but I think there's too many teams in the West. I think they make the play in and miss the playoffs because the teams I think will get in. This is just not. It's not in order. BX Grizzlies, Nuggets, Kings, Suns, Clippers. That's five. Pelicans six. Uh, I say Kings, right? Did I say Kings?
Yes.
Okay, Kings. Pelicans seven. Warriors eight. I don't think the Lakers get in.
Okay.
Even you got put T
Uh,
Wolves, you can say died. Arguably died.
yeah, but Golden State also got really better teams.
Hmm.
Got let's right now. I'll give you. Let me get the standings for a minute.
Yeah, Lakers right now are
Right now, the
number.
Lakers sit at 13. They're 13th in the West, but they're only 2 games. Actually, no, they're yes, 2 games out of the last play-in tournament. But the Trailblazers, when Josh Hart and the moves they made, didn't get. You could say took a step back.
Agreed.
Uh, Let me see what else. Utah's gonna fall out of the 11. They're not. They
Oh
look
yeah.
like they're ready to punt and get. They look like they're ready to mail it in a little bit. One team here, you got to have another team to fall here, and it'll be. I wonder if it'll be the hmm, the Timberwolves. Could the Timberwolves have a team that regresses here down the stretch?
I mean, it's a possibility. It is a possibility they could regress, but who knows? Maybe Mike Conley might resurrect his career in Minnesota. Who knows? And help Ant Man with his floor space and defense. And with Cat coming back, who knows? Maybe. Look, I'm not
All
saying
right.
it'll be great, but who knows? Maybe it might be a blessing in disguise for Minnesota.
This is the first time, in my opinion, I really that there isn't really a clear cut NBA final
Agreed.
representative for neither league.
Hmm.
It's wide open. The playoffs are going to be very exciting because you don't have your super teams. You could say Golden State, but look where Golden State is at. They have a tough task because they have to go on the road, and they're not a good road team. They're not going to have home court advantage. If they were a top 4 seed, man, that's a tough. Golden State might be a road to the finals. That's and look at the East as well. Now with Jalen Brown getting with that face fracture, who knows how long he's going to be out. It could
Mhm.
be he could be playing with a face guard. Maybe he's out for 6 weeks. Who knows? And how much is going to inflate him from shooting or scoring or playing defense, whatever the case is. Also, Brooklyn is going to take a step back. They'll still be a playoff team. Don't get me wrong, but they're not going to be that perimeter favorite to get in there and with the superstars that could take a series. You also got the 76ers. Yes, they still have Joel Embiid and they still have Harden, but knowing their track record on postseason with the head coach, do you really have confidence to say that you could they're the clear cut favorite to represent the East in the finals? No, you can't really. You're gonna have doubt.
That's true.
So
And
the East is
that's true.
open. The East,
That's true. And
yes,
Milwaukee got
yes.
better too again, Jay Crowder.
Milwaukee, right? Because Milwaukee's been playing four guards with Giannis. They've been playing a lot of four guards. They
Hmm.
really don't have with Bobby Portis being injured, going out
Hmm.
not playing much. That's another good pickup there, by the way, for them to bring in Crowded in there, and they do you see them going into the push into the in the NBA finals? You could, but the
I think
Billions are
so. Yeah.
not the clear cut favorite. There's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities for teams to make that run. Even
Hmm.
Miami, we're seventh right now. They could make a push. I'm surprised they were very quiet in this deadline.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I would have thought that they would go after a guy like a Zach Levine or like something big like that. I thought they would try like Kyle Lowry or something like that. But hey, they were quiet. They were quiet like a pin drop.
Right, right. But at least we'll see here. Now let's talk about the Knicks here. We looked around the league. Unless there's another team that you want to actually, before we go to the Knicks, let's go right to the Phoenix Suns. Let's talk about the Suns adding Kevin Durant on
Oh
there.
shit! Woo!
But how much is it going to hurt losing Bridges, losing the other players that went back to
Cam
Brooklyn?
Johnson. It's gonna lose a lot. I Even though Phoenix got better offensively, their defense is gonna take a huge hit because they lose perimeter defense and Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, and Jay Crowder. And the Suns don't even though, and the Suns don't have a bench though. They have a good starting five, but they don't have a bench though, and that's gonna be a problem come playoff time.
Now, I don't know. The player, I know the buying market is going to be available here for some players, some for depth and so forth. Chris Paul is going to be extremely important down the stretch. Does he have enough to get
Mhm.
to help them possibly have that his last push to win an NBA title? Will be with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, um,
Mhm.
Reggie Jackson, John Wall are going to be bought out. Any chance
Mhm.
they might want to bring either if I'm picking John Wall or Reggie Jackson, if I'm the Suns, I will bring in Reggie Jackson
Agreed.
rather than John Wall.
Agreed. Because Reggie
I know it's
Jackson's
not
more
going to move.
durable.
Yes, yes. Let me ask you this: how confident you think the Suns at least make it to the semis, second round?
I'm very confident. In fact I got Phoenix going to the Western Conference Finals and losing to the Clippers.
Okay, okay. I see them second round. I think they get picked off for some reason. I don't know what it is. I think the durability or the health issue because you also what is Chris Paul look like coming back here? Also Devin Booker missed some time, with some hamstring issues and growing issues as well. Kevin Durant's knee or Achilles, it's he's not the Kevin Durant durable. And then you're
Mm-hmm.
missing guys that were a critical part of the coaching staff of the team. How will the coach react and move if you're missing guys with who takes that team to another level. So it'll be interesting with them as well to see. Now let's go with the Knicks about this here. I know there was a
Mhm.
lot of talks that I was mentioning earlier. We almost had Zach Levine. That would have been an interesting. That would have been an interesting front
I think that would
with
have been a
Zach
pretty good
Levine,
move,
but
man.
it did. I thought too. I thought as well. But that one thing that kind of gives me a little bit of a stomach ache is the $40 million plus, and it keeps escalating for the on his contract. It kind
That's
of
true.
hurts the team going forward. That was the only thing that concerned me. Talent wise, it made sense to get that extra player, especially the East. This Knicks team, they're going to be a better defensive perimeter and rebounding team going at least the remaining 20 plus games.
Hmm. Yeah, getting a Josh Hart is good because he's a good physical defender. He's an underrated passer. Can hit the three ball. I like the Josh Hart move. The Josh Hart move was a good move. I personally think we could have traded for OG and Anobi if we could, or Sadiq Bey. I mean, or something like that. So that's the thing. But other than that, I like the Josh Hart move.
No, it was a good move to see him come to the Knicks. Now I know Knicks 100 did not like it, and I understand. You gave up a first round pick to get Cam Reddish. He didn't work out, but then you gave another one to get him out of here. But I'm gonna go with Agent Argo says the saying. I like what he said. You upgraded from Kevin Knox to Cam Reddish. I
True.
could agree with that. And now you upgraded Cam Reddish from to Josh Hart. So you're upgrading despite the fact you lost the pick, but you keep upgrading. That's the name of the game. Upgrade your talent during the via the trade. When you do the trade market, you want to upgrade. You want to bring in someone better than what you currently have on your roster. And I think the Knicks did that.
Hmm.
Now let me
That's
ask you:
true.
we
That's
got two roster spots available for the Knicks. Um, I would bring one of the. I bring a two-way player from Westchester, and I'll see if I see what I can see around the buy-in availability. Who wants to come in and play for
the
the Knicks? Because you
buyout.
never know the buyout.
Right, I get that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I'll try to get one from get a player also from Westchester, and see what buyout player we need. What player in the buyout would you target, Kev?
I got to see who's out there. Because the Knicks don't need any more guards. They're full of guards. They.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I would like to see try to get another power forward rim protector.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in a perfect world, if but it's not going to happen. In a perfect world, the Tosh Gibson will be out there. Will be a nice pickup. Like that
Mm-hmm.
type of player, Gibson type of player who could play a little center, power forward at times, and who is physical, who goes in there, who could guard team center at times. Because you're now if you're bringing someone in here, you got to try to be going for a postseason series. You might have a postseason series against Joel Embiid. Do we have enough with Mitchell Robinson, Hartenstein, Jericho Sinzai, which I think they do, by the way. Believe it or not, I think they do have enough there for that. But one thing that concerns me is that power forward. I don't think there's going to be a pure 3 point shooter available being bought out who could hit the three ball. I don't see him out there that the Knicks could explore to bring in. I don't think that because I think that 3 point specialist is on the bench in Fournier.
Mm-hmm. Right, right, right. Yeah, I could agree. Yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah, again, Taj Gibson. I mean, I know he's old, but he's still serviceable a little bit. Still
No, I don't think
serviceable.
I don't think they'll get rid of him. I'm not. I don't think they're getting him. I'm just saying a player that elk. That you and did Desmond get moved? Did Desmond get moved? Or
Yeah,
is Desmond
Desmond's on the
wait?
Spurs. Yeah, Dwayne. Yeah, Dwayne Dedman.
No,
His name
but
is
did
Dwayne Dedman. He's on the Spurs.
Desmond
Yeah, Dwayne Dedman.
did he move from the Spurs? Did the Spurs move from him or they kept him?
I, I think they kept him. I don't think they let him go.
Now I thought he was going to get flipped by their Spurs, like the way they did the Brooklyn Nets did with Crowder. They moved him.
Hmm. True, but it's unlikely the Spurs will keep him. They'll probably let Dedman go.
You think they'll buy him out? Yeah.
I think they will. I think they will. Yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you about the Hawks. Had a little bit of scratching head there. What they did. I mean, you got Bay. I guess you put him in the front court there with John Collins.
And
It's
I think they
interesting with
trade
them.
away John Collins.
No, no, John Collins did not get moved.
Oh, he did not get moved. Okay, my fault.
What's going on, man? Salute.
Salute, salute.
Patrick Beverly is with the Orlando Magic, but I think the Magic are going to buy him out too. I don't
I like Pat Bev, but do
because
we
they,
need
they
Pat Bev? It's more of a guard though.
yeah, and we already have a lot of guards. We yes,
Mhm.
Jalen Brunson's reaction. Did you see the video? Jalen Brunson's reaction
Oh
post
yeah,
that trade.
he was like, oh snap, yeah.
He was excited. He was very
Hmm.
excited. Happy that he got himself his buddy.
Hmm.
Let's see. Russ, salute. Absolutely free Roby. Let's hopefully. Russ, the link is in the chat if you want to join. Russ, anyone else who would like to join us here and have a quick talk panel. I'm gonna be on another 20 minutes, a half hour before I wrap up. Came on a little early from work, and I just wanted to go over that. Knicks should have been better with the in that area. They would have just kept Taj, who played better than iHeart. But he's a little older. I understand why they did iHeart so they could give and but it takes away from Jericho Sims. But Sims has been coming along very well.
Mm.
They're talking about the NBA officials, insiders. The
Mm.
Suns are going to be very, very aggressive on the buyout market. Excuse me, buyout market.
Right, right, right. You think Phoenix?
Danny
I think
Green
it's
will
a
be
good move.
nice on Phoenix.
Hmm. Nice. Right. I like that. Some people say Phoenix should get Russell Westbrook. Do you think so?
I don't know. I thought I'm seeing Russell Westbrook is going to the Clippers.
Yeah.
Just to stick it to LA. He's already living in LA. Why move and uproot? You go play for the Clippers. You're probably gonna play if they do get to play Clippers and Lakers in a playoff series. Oh my God, you know that fuel for motivation. My goodness, even though the
Motivation
Clippers are six, they
fireworks.
won't
Yep.
fireworks. That'd be phenomenal.
Hmm.
The Phoenix backup point guard. No, not who is that Phoenix? I just saw the
Oh,
exact
Cameron
name.
Payne. That's Cameron Payne.
How's the season of Torrey Craig? Is he having a good season or is he just
Torrey Craig's been okay. He's been up and down, but he's been okay.
Russ in Phoenix will be crazy and it gives them a solid wing defender. The height that Russell Westbrook does, and he's not going to be needed for scoring. Westbrook doesn't right at this career, at this junction of his career, he just needs to be a playmaker and a defender.
Mm.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't. Why didn't work in LA, but it is what
I
it is.
guess because I guess maybe it's why I don't think it worked in LA because LeBron, AD are inconsistent shooters, and the Lakers didn't have shooting around. Russ needs to be on a team that can swish and splash from the perimeter. Though he needs shooters around him.
Maybe you know what? Maybe Golden State actually the Suns might be a good fit for him.
Hmm. Yeah, you can put him at the backup point guard, and you can put Cameron Payne at the two. Because you have also have Damian Lee, you
Exactly.
also have Shamit, you also have Biombo. Yeah.
Yeah, Biombo is your backup center. That's right for Aiden. I know a lot of people
Hmm.
are frustrated with Aiden with the way he's a little soft, but I don't think he needs to get physical in the Western Conference right now.
Hmm.
I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine with him there. and especially now with Kevin Durant on the court, spacing. I think he'll be fine. I think
Right.
DeAndre Ayton is going to start taking that. He's going to be much better.
Hmm.
Any other teams out there other than the Phoenix Suns here that we're speaking about? Or what did you like for Memphis? Didn't move Dylan Brooks, by the way.
No, oh yeah, I was wrong. I was emphatically wrong. I thought that they'll swap Dylan Brooks, but hey, I guess that the Grizz trying to hang on to him to keep his defense and you know and etc. So I think that's a pretty good if you're Memphis though.
Let me ask you
What
this: do
about?
you think Kevin Knox is going to look good for the Golden State Warriors?
I think it looked good for Golden State. Yeah, I mean the pace and space, and with guy and with yeah, in the pace and space and getting open catch and shoot opportunities. I think it looked nice with the Warriors. Yeah.
I believe as well. I believe as
What
well.
about the
They
Celtics
got
getting
finally
Michael?
got Yeah, Michael Sala, nice move there for them. Helps them with their front court.
Mm-hmm.
He torches the Knicks from three when he plays them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna help. It's gonna be different for when he comes in for Robert Williams III. It'll be different, change of pace, different type of player there. I think it's gonna look good for it with them. Spreading the floor. I think there'll be, now you don't have to worry about your perimeter defenses with Marcus
Okay, my
Smart,
fault.
Tatum. They'll be good. I think that's gonna help Boston. I hate to say it, but yeah, that's a good move there. I thought Jakob Porto was gonna end up in Boston. To be honest with you.
Me too. Me too. Me too. But hey, Toronto getting Jakob Pro. And another thing too. Do you know many players are going back to their hometowns, like home cities, like the Eric Gordon going back to the Clippers, Jakob Pro going back to the Raps. Um. Who else? Dinwiddie going back to the Nets. Um. Who else? Just George Hill going back to the Pacers. Well, I know George Hill started off with the Spurs, but he's going back to the Pacers. Yeah, D'Lo going back to the Lakers. A lot of guys going back to the old squads.
That's the name of the NBA. You never know when that's why you never burn your bridges anywhere. In not just in
Hmm.
NBA basketball, but in your life. You don't burn your bridges because you never know when you're gonna need to cross those bridges again. That take that
Hmm.
as a not just a basketball reference, but in the life. So yeah, that's crazy.
Hmm.
Let me see something. Hold on a second. I got a little breaking about OG Ananobi almost got traded. Almost.
Man, you think New York should have gotten OG and Anobi?
It just would have cost so much. He fits what the Knicks want. He's one of a defender who gets steals, who leads the league in steals, rebounds, who could play. It would have fit what the Knicks needed, the size. But if the price tag was just too rich, and then you got to extend them and I know you say, well, wait a minute, you wanted Zach Levine, absolutely, but and that's cost a lot of money. But man, that was just but when you talk about Zach Levine, he is that all-star, superstar level. OG Anunoby is good. You bring in another pretty much a high-level borderline all-star, and he hasn't ever made an all-star team, I don't believe.
Nope.
So he's just another one who's just yeah. So it's they're apples to oranges, but man, that would have been interesting.
That is true. And OG's making 17 million. So yeah,
Right. The money, but he's opting out. He's getting a new contract. So he's not.
that's true.
That's for this season. He's gonna would require a big contract here. Do they explore that in the off season? I wouldn't be surprised if they go back and
Hmm.
explore that a signing trade.
Possibly yeah.
Yeah,
But who
but
you
I don't
trade?
think they were gonna trade Julius.
They were not going to trade Randall. Nah,
No,
we're not going to trade
no,
Randall.
no. What were you gonna say, Jeff? What were you gonna say, G?
Yeah, I was agreeing with you. They were not going to trade Randall. No way.
No, and his value is up high too. Especially if he finishes off the season strong here. If he finishes off the regular season strong, and he has a pretty good. Let's say he helps the Knicks win a round. and they win and they make it to the semifinals, and Randall plays extremely well, and they fall short in the second round, you could exploit that trade. Randall's trade value could be even greater because at that price tag that he has, 2 years left on his contract, at that money
Mhm.
he makes, he is very attractive to other teams that will want to
Definitely.
call and inquire. So don't be surprised if Randall still has value coming. I don't think his ceiling. I still think there's another level where Randall could bring the Knicks a little bit of a good haul back, especially if they make the postseason again, and he continues to close out these last 25 games strong.
Right, I can see that. Yeah.
And if for some reason, and and I'll buy the plane ticket too, Russ.
Let me.
But here's one reason. Here's another thing. What shows me? Let me say this. They didn't get rid of Obi Toppin this trading deadline. They couldn't move them. They could have pulled patch them, whatever. And Worldwide West pretty much made it known that he is the front office is behind Obi Toppin, although the coach doesn't like him and the coach thinks that he has a low IQ player. There's a disconnect with Obi Toppin in the front office. But the point that the front office is holding on and the asking price was extremely high because there were inquiries. Denver called about Obi Toppin. We heard Utah, so far. There was teams calling about Obi Toppin. Knicks were asking too high. They really value Obi Toppin. It's telling me that they're holding that chip that possibly Randall could if he they could see they're the right move. I won't say never. Randall could be moved in the summer. Never know. You never know if they think, you know what, we got the ceiling high with Randall. He's extremely high. He got us in the postseason,
Mhm.
and you never know.
That's a good point. I mean, anything's possible. I mean, example. Did anyone thought the Suns would get Kevin Durant? Nobody. Did anyone thought like going into this year? Did anyone thought Kyrie would be a Maverick? Nobody. Uh, did anyone thought that Kawhi Leonard will be traded to the Raptors in the summer of 2018? Nobody. Any did anyone thought that the Nets was trade the Warriors? I mean, trade D'Angelo Russell. I'm sorry, to the Warriors for KD. Nobody. So yeah, that's true. Anyone can get moved.
And I like you mentioned it. That's why I'm hoping. Russ, listen to this. I'm hoping my main man Kyrie Irving goes down to Dallas and he makes it so miserable for Luka Doncic that he wants to get the hell out of there. That Luka says, I want out of Dallas. I mean, and that's the guy you move Randall for. And you take all
Mhm.
those picks. And you want to add a Quentin Grimes. And you want to add that the Pete and Joe's grocery store on Randall and East Tremont, part of the deal. You do whatever you do to get Luka Doncic to New York. If that was the
Mhm.
case, yes,
Right.
yes. And I hope Kyrie plays extremely well.
Mhm.
That Cuban is dumb enough to give him a 4-year max, and
Mhm.
Luca hates it, and says,
Mhm.
"I want the hell out of there." You trade Julius Randle back home to Dallas.
Mhm.
Yeah, you go back home and you bring Luka Doncic to New York. Oh, we can
Yeah.
only dream.
Yeah. Hopefully. Who knows? Hopefully. And but I want to ask you: do you think we could have gone Boyan Bogdanovic or Siddiq Bey, at least one of them? Because Siddiq Bey only was like three
If we
million.
should, that's what I was wondering why. But of course, Sadiq is going to need a contract extension and needs to be extended. And I don't know if the Knicks were interested in bringing a rental in there like that. I don't know what they were thinking about. But I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
both were agree. We both like the Sadiq Bey.
Mm-hmm.
Bogdanovich is another Fournier. You
Good
have,
point.
and
Yeah.
I think that's what they looked at. I think that's what they looked at. I think well, is he an upgrade? Bogdanovich might have been an upgrade from Fournier, but we already have that type of player in Evan Fournier. I think that's why they didn't
Right.
make that move.
Probably. Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so let's get our final thoughts so we get out of here. I gotta have some dinner here. I've been out 2 hours already, and I got home from work, and I'm a little bit I'm a little hungry.
Your belly is rumbling and tumbling, huh? Um.
It's rumbling. It's rumbling.
Well, a lot of trades were rumbling and flew by like in the wind. Nice to see you again, BX Sports Jedi. I also salute everybody in the chat. I mean, the trade deadline, it was fun for many teams. Some eye popping trades that came out of nowhere. A lot of teams are going for the gusto early. Some teams building for the future. I mean, it's gonna be fun. Salute again, Kev. Salute everyone in the chat. Hope everyone stays safe, stay healthy. May God bless you, keep you safe, and let's go Knicks.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go. Remember Friday, tomorrow, the Knicks take on the 76ers. We'll have the watch along here. I want to see what if Josh Hart is available to play. The Knicks got a back to back against the 76ers in Utah, Friday and Saturday. So it'll be interesting to see. The Knicks off that win, off for the 76ers. And 76ers looking for some retribution to beat the Knicks. And also, if the Knicks win that game, they win the season series 3 games
Mm-hmm,
to 1. So
mm-hmm.
that's a big one. If not, they'll split the series. So Knicks got us something here. Win the series from the 76ers tomorrow.
For
That'd
sure.
be interesting. That'd be phenomenal. That'd be a nice. Knicks are doing some milestones here. They're four games over 500. They're going to hit the All Star break at worst 500. They won't be
Yeah,
under 500 at worst. If they lose all the rest of the games, they're at 500
right.
But
Yeah.
we're not looking that way. We're not looking at it. We're doing worst case scenario. Go out there and win these
Mm-hmm,
games. Go 3-1. You 3-1, 2-2. Go out there and win it. And you got to be excited. You come back from the All Star break. You got to have Josh Hart. You're gonna have that time off to practice, get that acclimated. Those players acclimated. Mitchell Robinson comes back strong and healthy. Hopefully for the stretch run, you might bring some
mm-hmm,
two-way players from your G League. Or maybe one or two to come and rebound and help play with the team. Also, maybe
mm-hmm,
you might get someone in the buyout market to bring in
mm-hmm,
there. So you keep your eyes out for the grind of the stretch run of the season into the
mm-hmm.
postseason. So I am happy that the Knicks are relevant compared to last season. We were like, oh my God, can this
Agree.
season end? And we like, can we count in the game? This time here, we're keeping an eye on an opportunity of possibly a postseason play. And you gotta
Yep,
like it because that's what you want. You want your young players and your young team to get into postseason and learn
agreed.
and taste that postseason run, and want more and make it. Maybe that motivates a player to want to get better. You know what? I really liked it this high, of being in the postseason, that bonus money. And what I always say, nothing motivates a professional player more than making money. And yeah, you
Yeah,
can
that's
have your
true.
own contract, your own bag, but when you want that bonus money, that playoff money, that what's called big game, you never know who's going to step up. That's why I have
Mm-hmm.
hope that Evan Fournier is going to be a big time money player for the postseason. He's just going to be unconscious, you know, and you never know. You never know. You never do. Brandon, salute, guys. Thank you guys for joining me this trading deadline. Like always, I appreciate you guys. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow for the watch along. Join me for the watch along. And we'll Knicks versus the 76ers. And for me to you guys have a blessed night. We'll talk to you then.